Most Alaskans believed the oil company promises until the Exxon Valdez hit the rocks. That was 11 million gallons of North Slope crude oil spilled into the Gulf of Alaska, hundreds of thousands of birds, thousands of sea otters killed. We're afraid of the same kind of thing happening in the Arctic.
The fears of environmental pressure groups have increased as the oil companies lobby to expand their activities into more Arctic territory. The reserves at Prudhoe Bay are already beginning to run out. The industry believes new oil fields lie beneath the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. The refuge, known simply as ANWR, is protected by US law from any mineral exploitation. The oil companies argue national energy security should come before Arctic conservation.
The coastal plain of ANWR is perceived by everybody to have the best prospects for large quantities of new oil. And so it's the obvious place to look if you want to better the present adverse energy situation in the United States.
The oil industry has considerable power in Congress and may well win the battle to expand into ANWR. But they are not the only ones with a vested interest in the reserve. Elsewhere in ANWR, the Gwich'in Indians have survived for centuries, hunting with their husky teams and living off another rich resource. Not oil, but caribou. Now they've turned their survival skills to politics and are lobbying Congress for assurance that the caribou breeding grounds will never be disturbed by oil exploration. Each year they harvest a controlled number of animals using knowledge and skills handed down through generations. The Gwich'in argue that the caribou are the cornerstone of their culture as well as their staple diet.
We totally subsistent off that herd. We use the skin, we use the bone and meat, every part of it. And that's maybe 75% of our daily diet is caribou. We identify ourselves with that herd. And, we do caribou dancing, we sing caribou song, and we tell caribou stories, and it's identify with our tribe, our Gwich'in people. And it's really our identity because we totally depend on that herd, and it was because of that herd our tribe survived. And that's why we're here today.
The caribou breeding grounds are on the coastal plain, exactly where the prospectors want to drill. Even the US government admits development would mean a drastic decrease in the caribou population. 86-year-old Ginny Sam and other Gwich'in elders believe such disruption of the herd would mean the end of their tribe. The issue arouses many passions. For every native Indian defending their existence, there are scores of oil workers defending theirs.
We're not allowed to go into ANWR and look for oil. The oil company workers, including myself, would lose my job. The gas prices are going to go up, and basically the American economy is going to go down. I think the environmentalists need to look at what we've done here in Prudhoe and let us go ahead and try and find something in ANWR. I personally don't have much time for the environmentalists.
We think it's a mistake to sacrifice one of the greatest world treasures, really ecological treasures, one of the last great intact Arctic ecosystems, for what amounts to 200 days of oil for the American economy. The amount of oil that the administration has speculated may be in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge is about 3 billion barrels. Now, we could get that same 3 billion barrels by just raising the auto efficiency of American cars, on average 3 to 5 miles per gallon.
basically to go into the coastal plain believing that there was any chance of harming those caribou would be so damaging to your corporation as to put its future in jeopardy. I mean, you have to be confident that you can work rationally in that area without damaging the wildlife. Otherwise, British Petroleum would probably be pushed out of the North American commercial arena for the damage it gave rise to.
The Arctic Refuge is the Serengeti of the North. We have hundreds of thousands of caribou roaming the plains. We lost that in the rest of America. We've lost our buffalo. They were massacred in the last century. This is all that's left. It's the last pristine ecosystem that we have. It's untouched by man. Now, the oil companies have more than 1,000 miles of Arctic coastline on which to drill for oil. We're asking for 125 miles to be left alone.
Thousands of miles from the